All right, today we're diving into something really ambitious, India's Gift City. It's being built to be a global financial powerhouse, and its game plan for attracting businesses is, well, it's pretty revolutionary. Let's break down how they're making it happen.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What if a city could basically play by its own set of financial rules, totally separate from the rest of the country and designed from scratch to be a massive magnet for global money? Well, that's pretty much the entire idea behind Gift City.
So the whole goal here is to create a financial gateway for India that can go toe-to-toe with the big players, places like Singapore, Dubai, and Hong Kong. And its secret weapon? A set of tax privileges so aggressive they're almost unbelievable, all designed to pull in capital that might have gone somewhere else. But the real head-turner, the one thing that gets every CFO to sit up and pay attention, it's this absolutely massive multi-year tax holiday. Let's see just how big of a deal this really is.
Because, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great your office building is or how smart your employees are. The bottom line always comes down to a really simple question. How much of our profit do we actually get to keep?
And the answer in Gift City? 100%. Yeah, you heard that right. For an entire decade, businesses that qualify pay zero income tax on their profits. This isn't just a discount, it's a complete wipeout. And here's where it gets super smart. It's not just the first 10 years. A company gets to choose any 10-year stretch within its first 15 years. This lets a new company, get its sea legs, actually start making good money, and then kick off its tax-free decade to get the biggest bang for its buck.
Okay, so you're probably thinking a 0% income tax sounds amazing, but what's the catch? There's always a catch, right? And you're not wrong. Most countries have some kind of backup tax to make sure big companies pay something. So let's see how Gift City deals with that.
Well, that catch is usually something called a minimum alternate tax, or MAT. Think of it like a safety net for the taxman. It's calculated on the profits a company shows in its accounting books, just to make sure that even with a ton of deductions, some minimum tax gets paid. It's the classic fine print of corporate taxes.
And this is where the deal gets even sweeter. Even if a company has to pay this MAT, it's at a super low 9%. But, and this is a huge but, if that company decides to opt into India's new tax system, poof, MAT doesn't apply at all. So you have a choice between a really, really low tax or no tax. It's an incredible win-win.
Okay, so we've established your profits are pretty well protected. But what about all the actual activity? The buying, the selling, the trading that happens every single second. This is where Gift City tries to create a totally frictionless market by getting rid of all those little taxes that can really add up.
I mean, just look at this. The benefits here are honestly staggering. All those little friction costs that nickel and dime you in other markets, they're just gone. Whether you're trading stocks, selling assets, or transferring property, there are no transaction taxes, no capital gains, and no stamp duties. For a high-frequency trading firm or a big investment fund, this makes everything way faster and cheaper.
And believe it or not, we're still not done. We've covered profits, we've covered transactions, but what about just the basic day-to-day cost of running the business? Importing stuff, paying for services, even just turning on the lights.
This is where it hits the day-to-day budget. Bringing in equipment from overseas, no customs duty. Using services, zero goods and services tax. And your electricity bill? For a whole decade, there's no duty on that either. These aren't just abstract savings. This is real cash in the bank from day one.
So, okay, let's take a step back and look at the big picture. You've got the income tax holiday, the MAT exemption, the zero friction trading, and these super low operating costs. When you stack all of that up, you really start to see what they're building here. It's a full-on strategy to create an almost perfect environment for business.
And that's the key, right? It's not about any single one of these benefits, it's the whole package. It's the cumulative effect of building this tax-free, low-friction, and low-cost ecosystem from the ground up, designed to pull global finance straight to India's doorstep.
Which leaves us with one really big question. As every country on Earth scrambles to attract global investment, is this the blueprint? Is this hyper-attractive low-tax model what the financial city of the future looks like? It's definitely one to watch. Thanks for joining us.